It is halftime in Charlottesville. Virginia leads Miami 13-6. The Cavaliers kicked a field goal at the gun after putting together a decent drive in the final seconds of the first half after MarkRogersTV led Miami to a field goal drive that made it at that point 10-6. And of course, the story of the game we will get to in just a second. Other scores, primetime game in the Big Ten, a huge one here as Michigan picks off a pass from Alex Hornibrook off the deflection. I believe that is Josh Metellus taking this one all the way down to the 15-yard line for the Badgers. And Michigan has taken a 10-7 lead on a field goal and now has prime position with 4 minutes left in the first half to add to its lead. MarkRogersTV, the voice of college football, coming your way with the best discussion, debate, and analysis in college football online that you will find anywhere. We will strike up the phone line. The call-in line is 860-325-3687. I want to watch football tonight. You do as well. So I just thought it would be a good time to check in on the day's action since I've been gone most of the day. The day's action, the primetime games generally at halftime with Miami, Virginia. All right, checking out the live chat. Before we get there, the numbers on N'Kosi Perry in the first half, of course, 3 for 6, 2 interceptions, 1 a real bad decision. I didn't see the other one, only threw for 20 yards. MarkRogersTV comes into the game, and he didn't fare too much better. And he led the team down the field. Then he took a I don't necessarily know that it was a bad sack before the one field goal because he was ambushed on that play. He really didn't have time to set up and even throw the ball away. And Miami's offensive line let them down on that particular play. So Rocher's checked down the ball. He's missed some throws. He's 2 for 7 as well. So the Miami quarterbacking, a lot to be desired tonight. It's 5 for 13 for 50 yards. This is taking us back to like 1972 football right now. Virginia leads 13-6 at the break. Let me check out the live chat to see what you guys are talking about. And of course, 860-325-3687. That's 860-325-3687. I'm at least going to stay on the line through the Miami, Virginia halftime and also probably Michigan, Wisconsin. We'll do that. Then we'll catch all the second halves of the big primetime games, Alabama, Mizzou included, West Virginia, Iowa State. Let's not forget about the Mountaineers in trouble right now, down 6 to Iowa State. And late night, I'm real interested in watching Colorado, USC. Clavon Bostic, good to see you as well. Roosevelt Davis. All we got is defense. Yeah, everything I've seen out of the Miami defense tonight has been pretty impressive. Jordan Ellis did get loose on a couple runs, not big runs, but key runs in a couple of those field goal drives for the Cavaliers. But besides that, the Virginia offense not doing a whole lot and doing what you would expect them to do. This is the script for a Virginia upset, of course. The defense taking advantage of a couple miscues, bad throws, by Perry and Rocher, but most notably Perry. And Juan Thornhill brings back the one inside the 5-yard line. That leads to the touchdown, and there you go. No, actually, did that not lead to the touchdown? Did Miami get a stop and a field goal attempt on that one? I think. Valdez is on the line. Roosevelt Davis. Have yet to see your handle, Roosevelt. Would love to know who you root for. We're going to take a poll at some point, get your thoughts and the reaction and response on who you guys root for. Would love to know the percentage of who roots for who that watch us. Zoom play. TCU, of course, going down on Friday night. Hate to bring that up, but we're just kind of recapping everyone as I see the various teams represented by everyone here. Michael Love, how is this possible? Mark, do you think MarkRogersTV will stay in the game? Do you believe that means an instant loss for us unless our defense can pull it out for us? Go Canes. Okay, well, it's not an automatic loss, Michael, of course. MarkRogersTV, for as questionable as his play-making ability is and his lack of development as a quarterback, still as a senior. Keep in mind, he did win 10 out of 13 starts last year and the game before that. Against Duke a couple years ago. He lost against LSU. He's got something like a 13-4 record, 14-4 record as a starting quarterback, and Virginia is not a great team. They're going to finish in the 6-6 range this year. So your running game and defense should win this game if you just get manageable play out of the quarterback, meaning don't throw the game away. That's what they did in the first half, and that wasn't mostly Rocher, that was Perry. But between the quarterback play, you should beat Virginia. If you're Miami, you should be able to go on the road and beat Virginia in an ugly game, even if your quarterback doesn't give you much, but he can't hand the game away. If he goes 12 for 20, throws for 150 yards and a touchdown, and throws no turnovers or at least a meaningless turnover, then you're okay. But he can't go, or a combination of the two, Rocher and Perry, they can't go 15 for 34 in this game with 3 or 4 interceptions. Then you're in trouble. Just don't hand the game over. You're better in so many other positions. Valdez on the line. Mark Rick sucks as a play caller. D. Rev Lee, I haven't felt this way about my team since the golden days. Oh, don't bring up that name. Mr. Golden, the golden days. So many ways you can flip a phrase with Al Golden, of course. Zoom play, Iowa State playing very good. I unfortunately haven't seen anything but scores in that game. I hope to catch up with that one at some point. But this is the frustration of college football Saturday right here. I've got Wisconsin, Michigan. That by far is the most important game being played right now. Miami fans, I know for you, Virginia fans, I hate to discount other teams. Virginia fans, hopefully we've got Virginia fans watching Mark Rogers TV. If you know a Virginia fan out there that doesn't watch Mark Rogers TV, they should be watching us. We cover Virginia football as well. We cover everyone. We try. Regardless, Wisconsin, Michigan's the big game of the night. Of course, if you're a Virginia Tech fan, then your game is in Miami, so forth and so on. Alabama, Missouri. That's where the stats lie. And Miami's back on the field against Virginia. We've got a 3rd and 12 as obviously the first 2 plays for the Canes coming out of halftime didn't go so well. N'Kosi Perry playing 3rd-string quarterback now on the sideline, giving the signals. Jaron Williams as well. 2nd, 3rd string. You know what I mean. 3rd down conversion rate for the Canes this year, 44%. That's pretty meaningless because they've played Savannah State and other like teams. And we've got a penalty on the Canes. So it appears as though we're talking about an illegal procedure type call here. Delay of game. Delay of game on the first series, trying to get the plays in with the old starting quarterback who has started 18 or 19 games. That shouldn't happen. 3rd and 17. Let's see what play they dial up on 3rd and 17. Down 7 points to start the 3rd quarter. Okay, RJ Entertainment, if you're still on the line, who do you root for? And how long have you been watching Mark Rogers TV? And by the way, welcome. Yeah, they'll dump it off here. Of course, you don't want to put Roger in a position to have to read a defense and deliver the football on 3rd and 17. And this is typical. This is not a knock on him. This is typical of play calling in college football and in the NFL when you don't trust the quarterback to deliver and make a safe throw on 3rd and 17 because there are so many turnovers at that kind of down and distance. But we've got a call against the defense. This is going to be an automatic 1st down on the play on Rocher, number 33. That was an awful call. So Miami's lucky, gets bailed out on that call against number 33. Good player. I've seen him make a number of plays tonight. Don't know his name off the top of my head. But, yeah, the linebacker came in on the blitz, and he had a clean shot at the quarterback, and you're supposed to have a 1.5 steps, but I guess real football doesn't apply anymore. All right. Rocher completes for about 7. Nope, it's incomplete. What happened there? Now, that ball was on time. It was there. I think that was just a plain drop by Brevin Jordan. All right, what else do you guys have in here? Sense of tumor. Miami's a terrible team with all that talent coming out of Florida high schools. 1/8 of the talent coming from Florida schools. Emmanuel Moreno. Wish SC scheduled 3 FCS teams and had a bye week every week. We got DJ Dallas. He needs to get the ball more. I don't watch every play of every Miami game. I can't. Well, I could, but I can't. That would be brutal. Savannah State, FIU. But sure, I watch the big games and the even the marginal games against the North Carolinas and the Virginias. And DJ Dallas needs to see the ball more. I don't understand that exactly. So the Canes have a 3rd and 1. They're at the Virginia 35. They've been helped out by that awful call against the linebacker and the late hit that wasn't, and it looks like they've got the first down. All right, Swampy McGee. Over under 57. So Vegas says USC 32, Colorado 25. Yes, they do. I'm taking the Buffs +7. I'm not supremely confident about that pick. I'm taking USC to win the game. Top 4 for Emmanuel: Notre Dame, Bama, Ohio State, Clemson. UCF would blow Miami out. I don't believe so, but I guess it's possible on a given day. But no, if they played 10 times, Central Florida and Miami, say Miami wins at 6 out of 10, something in that range. What do you guys think? Central Florida against Miami, they play 10 times. I hate to do they play one time who wins, even though that's what would happen. You guys should know from watching college football every week that different teams show up every week. Tennessee wouldn't beat Auburn every week if they played. And LSU wouldn't beat Georgia if they played every week. Now, it only counts when they do play. And yes, the Miami and Oklahoma helmets are coming, I promise. I should put that on my to-do list. It is on my to-do list already, which is a ridiculously long list. All right, guys, what do you think about the second half here? Miami, Virginia, let's close out the drive here on a 2nd and 8 at the 32. Rozier in the shotgun, of course, looks left, goes right. I'll go back to my play-by-play calling days, and he scrambles, and he's a decent runner. He's not Michael Vick, but he's a decent runner, and he almost gets a first down. We go back to 1995. I remember this game very well. This is the game in which Virginia finally broke Florida State's streak of winning all of its games against the ACC. So Florida State joined the ACC and never lost for the first 3 or 4 or 5 years, something in that range. And FSU is the number 2 team in the country, went to Virginia, and Warwick Dunn almost made it into the end zone to keep the streak alive, but he did not reach it, according to the officials. They needed replay on that. I don't know if his knee was down or not. And Virginia pulled off the upset. All right, back to 2018, 9.5 minutes left in the third quarter, and Miami trails 13-6. They're at the Virginia 24-yard line. Mark should do one in-game live stream. That would be cool. Mark with 4 live streams around him would be great. With 4 live streams around him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if we could put 4 games around me. Is that what you're talking about? Uh-oh. This is going to be close. Well short. Okay. I thought, excuse me. I thought that was going to be close. All right. Miami getting stuffed. They went with Travion Gray, and yeah, he got pushed back. He didn't come close to the marker. So Virginia holds. Virginia holds. It would have been about a 41-yard field goal that would have made it 13-9. So the Canes down 7, third quarter, 8 minutes left, and Michigan and Wisconsin probably back on the field. All right. So here's the deal. You've joined Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. We deliver the best in discussion, debate, and analysis of college football with myself, you in the chat room, and on the phone line, 860-325-3687. And we're also joined by the best bloggers, broadcasters, and writers in the industry. So we get the voice from all of us, the voice of college football. You get previews and predictions as well. I will be releasing 3 Big Ten predictions and previews each and every week to SG1 Sports. So check those out at SG1 Sports. Also, we'll be doing a live stream on SG1 Sports starting next Sunday, not tomorrow, but starting next Sunday morning. We'll do a college football live stream on SG1 Sports each Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And I will continue to do my live streams here at Mark Rogers TV. All right. Also coming up tomorrow, of course, is going to be the top 25 that actually makes sense. And then we will also have our conference rankings. I know 288028 has asked for conference rankings, and I've got them. And I almost produced them yesterday, but I thought, well, I'll let the weekend pass and we'll revise and come back after the games are played on Saturday. And I will update my conference rankings and a whole lot of other things. King Buckeye. Tua slid down after a 10-yard gain in the second half. He has been fighting what seems to be an MCL sprain or something similar. Jamie has to be psyched today. His Oregon Ducks won. Jamie, teams need to play good teams early on. We'll lose first big game. Seeing some other names that I've never seen before. Good to see you guys. ST6 something. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys in the chat. All right. We will be back after the ball games tonight. So I don't know if that's going to be after the primetime games, Michigan, Wisconsin, Miami, Virginia, and Alabama, Missouri. And let's not forget West Virginia struggling with Iowa State, or late with Colorado USC going at it as a key game in the Pac-12 South Division as the Buffs look to go to 6-0. Virginia takes over, and they run it for about 5 yards, protecting a 7-point lead. And, of course, Miami was a 7-point favorite in this game. All right, everyone. I would ask that you would like, comment, and subscribe if you like the delivery of college football right here. Analysis from myself, the live chat, the calls that we receive, some of the best callers in college football, 860-325-3687. And, of course, the best bloggers, broadcasters, and writers that we can find in the industry. Virginia with a 2nd and 5. And, man, they are playing this upset to a script, to a T. This is how you would call it. This is the type of game that you would envision Virginia pulling off this upset. And it's not a mighty, monumental upset. They were a 6.5 to 7-point underdog in this game. And Vegas apparently knew more than I did, as they typically do, about these games. Virginia seeking its first win versus an AP Top 25, and I couldn't read the rest of the graphic. It would have been a good note for me to put in this week's newsletter, The Voice of College Football. So please sign up for that as well. The Voice of College Football, our newsletter that's delivered to you each and every Monday. So just send your email to mine at MarkRogersTV@gmail.com, and we'll get you the newsletter, The Voice of College Football, each and every week with a channel update, my take and perspective on college football for the weekend. We'll get you any back issues as well. And then what people really seem to like to dive into are the stats, trends, and facts that you will find as Miami comes up with a sack. And I believe they've gotten themselves a stop. Yes, they have a 4th and 10. So they'll get the ball back, most likely in good field position around their own 35-yard line with Jeff Thomas back there. I believe that's Jeff Thomas. Here you go at the 32. Let's see what Malik Rocher has for us right now. I expected to hear more just anger, frustration, ire in the chat room about the decision to bench N'Kosi Perry. Because we all know that once he was benched for this game, that Mark Richt couldn't bring him back in this game, that he had committed to Rocher. And it's a gutsy call to a certain extent. I don't know if it's the right call, but it's a gutsy call. But this is why the man is being paid handsomely, is to make these kind of decisions and make the right decision. So he is paid at the quarterback position to do basically three things. He is paid to recruit excellent quarterbacks that will fit his system, who have the skill set to fit his system, number one, that also have the mentality as leaders potentially, and also the mental makeup to develop at the collegiate level as a quarterback. So he's got to recruit the right guys. Then number two, he has to select. He has to be able to watch in a spring camp setting. He has to be able to watch 5 or 6 quarterbacks and evaluate who the best are and narrow down that competition or select a guy right then and there. So he's got to select the right guy, number two. And then number three, he's got to develop him in particular and build his offense or tweak it, because he's already apparently recruited and signed quarterbacks that will fit his system. So that's the first step there. But later, once he makes his selection of a quarterback, he should then be able to assess his playmaking abilities, what he does well, what he doesn't do so well, and tweak the play calling and the offensive approach to that quarterback. Even though he originally fit his system from a skill set and from a talent standpoint, then he needs to go back and slightly tweak the offense to play to his strengths. And that's what Mark Richt and every good head coach, along with his play caller and his quarterbacks coach, should be able to accomplish. Recruit the right guy, select the right guy, and then develop him. All right, folks, this is Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. We'll be back later tonight with instant analysis of all the late games and the primetime games and anything else that you want to talk about. Take down the number, put it next to your bed, put it on the fridge, put it on your treadmill, 860-325-3687. That's 860-325-3687. I'll put it one more time in the chat, and you guys will always have it ready for you at any time. I am so happy to see that Terry Ann McWright has joined the chat. I am not happy to see that Tua just went down. So if I flip to that game, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find out any information. But that, Tua has gone down, and somebody in the live chat had speculated an MCL. Miami back with the ball at its own 35. They went to DJ Dallas on first down. Mizzou at Alabama, and we've got a 3rd and 1. Bama's up 30-10. And Jalen Hurts, of course, on the field, since Tua is off the field. So I haven't seen a whole lot of this game, but from what I've seen, Drew Lock has not been at his best. And Missouri's made some dumb plays on offense and really botched some opportunities, but Alabama's obviously a much better team. And are up 30-10, and they're going to coast to a win here. But the storyline this game is that Tua Tagovailoa may have an MCL sprain of some sort or something in that vicinity. And it looks like the wide receiver, Ruggs, that he got twisted up below the knee as well. And he's limping off. Josh Jacobs with the ball, and Bama's going to coast home to a win. All right, folks, appreciate the time. Let's watch some football together for the rest of the night, and I'll be back to talk Colorado, USC, Miami, Virginia. We'll see how this one wraps up. Of course, Michigan, Wisconsin, the big one of the night. The Tua Tagovailoa situation at Alabama as the tide is rolling over Missouri. West Virginia in trouble against Iowa State, and the Mountaineers trying to stay undefeated, but we knew that the Cyclones would give them a game. Rocher going deep, poorly thrown ball out of bounds. Gave his wide receiver Pope absolutely no chance, as Hall has made another good play. He's a good player, and he was in coverage against Pope. And I don't know that that was necessarily the place to be going with that. But at the same time, Hall somewhat forced him out, but he still had some room along the sideline, and there you go. All right, everyone. We appreciate you stopping by, and the live streams are always fun, and you guys enjoy the football for the rest of the night, and we will see you soon right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Of course, like, comment, and subscribe. That keeps us going. We'll see you soon. Emmanuel, I appreciate the request for the game commentary. I enjoy doing that. What I need to do is get about 4 screens up here because I really want to watch Michigan, Wisconsin. But of course, I'm locked in on Miami, getting upset right now against Virginia. And we are only a half hour away, I believe, from Colorado, USC. West Virginia is going down right now to Iowa State. The last I saw, 20-14. There's just so much going on. Emmanuel, I appreciate it. Haven't called play-by-play since I was about 24, 25 years old, back in Ashland, Ohio, at WNCO, calling the Ashland University football games and the high school football and basketball games in that area. And of course, one of my rare memories was calling a swim meet all day in 95-degree heat, knowing nothing about swimming in particular, to call a swim meet. Swampy McGee, 4-screen, dream, scene, streaming. #1 ND fan. If you aren't flipping between 4 and 5 channels, are you ever even watching college football? Oh, man. For the days that people can't now believe that we were at a place when we used to not only just watch one game, but it didn't have the score on the screen for most of the game. Tune into ESPN Classic sometime and see a game from the 1980s, and you don't see a score for like 15 minutes. People actually had to sit and watch the game, know what the down and distance was, and have the score in their head. And then if somebody walked into the room or came home, they just have to wait. You just have to wait around until they decided to show the score. It might be the end of the first quarter before you saw the score on the screen. And then they got really advanced when they started to put out-of-town scores on the scoreboard. And they did that like in the 1960s, but it would take them forever. Swampy Mark has a little bit of Marv Albert and Kevin Harlan. Well, those guys are way beyond me, and they've logged a couple million more hours of play-by-play. Gus Johnson. Yeah, Gus Johnson. Boy, that guy either annoys people or they love him. And I'm typically in the love category for Gus Johnson. I just think he just oozes passion for the game, and he just loves it. And that's his style. Gus Johnson was doing a promo prior to the Ohio State game last week. I don't know which game he was doing. And he said, coming up next, so-and-so versus D. And then he kept talking. That was his intro for Ohio State football. He didn't say Ohio State. He just said D. That's all he said. So we are highlighting Miami's defensive line against UVA's offensive line. And again, we've got a 13-6 game with Jordan Ellis just carrying the ball for UVA. This is going to be a slugfest. This is just going to be old school, grind it out. Who makes the big mistake? Who turns it over? Who can bust one play? Who can blow one coverage? Who's that going to be? Because this isn't going to be your typical 2018 42-38 game where we gave up a touchdown, big deal. Our offense is back out on the field. No, you gave up a touchdown. You might have just lost the game. And Bryce Perkins, the JUCO transfer, starting quarterback for Virginia that we've been waiting to see all offseason. This is why he was brought in, to run Bronco Mendenhall's offense, a la Taysom Hill, that we now see taking some snaps in place of Drew Brees with the New Orleans Saints. And Manny Diaz is trying to deal with this right now. He's over there, got his arms crossed, and he's thinking it over. How do we stop this kid? Because otherwise, this type of approach is going to grind the clock to dust. And Miami's only going to get the ball a few more times if they're able to execute this way. There he goes. Outside the pocket. He's got 9 to 10 yards and close to another first down. This is the script. And this is why we can't look at the schedule, even though it's fun to do, and I do it as well. This is why we can't look at the schedule and say, Miami's going to have a tough game against LSU, and they're going to have a tough game against Florida State. And it's a little bit tricky against Boston College on the road on a Friday night and against Virginia Tech, of course. But otherwise, they're good, and it's going to be 11-1 or 10-2. 10-2 is what I predicted. These games, that's why I don't say, and you'll hear me when I make season predictions, I'll say Miami's better than Virginia, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Duke, even Virginia Tech, and everybody in the ACC Coastal. But if you group all those games together and say, they've got, minus themselves, 6 games against those kind of teams, chances are they're going to slip up once, because those teams are good enough on a given night that if they're bringing their A game or something close to it, and Miami's bringing its C game, that they're going to get tripped up like they did last year against Pitt, like Clemson has against Syracuse or Pitt, like Alabama did consecutive years against Ole Miss, although that Rebels team was much better than the teams that we're talking about here, like Ohio State did at Iowa, like Oklahoma did it against Iowa State last year. And that doesn't mean Miami's definitely going to lose this game. They're only down a touchdown. But it looks like that kind of game, doesn't it? It looks like they're going to lose this game 19-13, 16-13. That Virginia just needs one more score to take a 2-score lead. And even if Miami scores once, they're just not going to have that much time. And yeah, in a regular college football game in 2018, 2 minutes left in the third quarter, there's an eternity left in this game. But the way this game's being played, it's being played like a game in 1982. The clock is just running. It's just going. Antonio Brooks is on the line. LSU has to get past Mississippi State, then the bye week, then they've got Alabama. Is this Auburn from last year? Maybe. USC Gamecock. Muschamp is done in South Carolina. He will be fired after either this week or next. Do we really think that Will Muschamp is going to get fired because they've lost 3 or 4 games? They could finish 7-5 this year. I understand that's a step back, but he's made the progression from 3 wins to 6 to 9. Will Muschamp, unless there's something else outside of football going on, is not going to get fired this year. Mark, did you watch Notre Dame Pitt? I did not. I did not see anything from this afternoon. I went to go see my lovely daughter in college. It was a family weekend, and I went out there. I was going to go to their football game, but that's another story. We hung out at her sorority, and we went to lunch, and we had a great day, and it's a 5-hour round trip, so I got home in the fourth quarter of the 3:30 game, so I missed everything at noon, And I had that DVR. It's probably smoking by now, running on everything at noon and 3:30. Now, whether I'll catch up to that, my son makes fun of me all the time because he looks at the list of games that I've DVR'd and he's like, you never go back and watch these games. Never is an overstatement, but he's right. Most of the time, it just becomes too overwhelming to get back and watch all these games. I do want to see Ohio State, Minnesota. I want to see Michigan State, Penn State. I want to see the Notre Dame Pitt game. Maybe I'll watch the fourth quarter to see what happened because I understand Pitt had issues with clock management in that game. Oh, what happened here? 1st and 10 as we go to the fourth quarter. Going to the fourth quarter? Yes, going to the fourth quarter. So UVA has a first down as they're methodically driving down the field. This reminds me, just this particular drive, they've taken up so much time and they barely moved the ball. When Illinois in 2007 beat number 1 Ohio State on the road, they held the ball for the final 8 minutes of the game. And they didn't even score. They didn't even get to field goal range. I had to rewatch the drive just to believe it because I thought after Ohio State lost, I was like, they didn't even have, because I was thinking, well, when did they blow this game? When did their offense not come through? No, wait a minute. They didn't even have the ball the last 8 minutes. Wait a minute. And I rewound the game and I watched and Illinois kept getting to 3rd down and 4th down and 4th and 1 and 3rd and 1 and converting just barely. They never ran a play for more than 4 yards and they just kept the ball and kept the ball and kept the ball and kept it in bounds. And they ran out the clock without even getting the ball from like their own 20 to the Ohio State 40. That's what Virginia's doing right now. And Miami's probably only going to see the ball 3 more times in this game. So they better score and score touchdowns. Wouldn't Kiffin leave if he made South Carolina good? All right. Can't exactly dive into the live chat. You guys are obviously talking it up there. This, again, is Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. So whether you're watching us live or you were catching this after the video posts, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions about what we do, send me a comment. I will explain. Otherwise, just check out the videos because we cover college football each and every day, not just during the regular season, not just during the playoffs, the entire year. We cover and talk college football every day of every year, all the time, right here. This time, I am actually going to sign off. Emmanuel pulled me in last time, but you guys enjoyed the second half of the games. I will as well, and I will see you late night tonight at some point to wrap up Saturday. And I've got a whole lot of announcements to make concerning content and where it's going to be in the future, but we'll get to that at a later date. This is all about college football today and the big games tonight. We will see you soon right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football.